How you going? Right, today we're going to be looking at setting up your own personalised template. Now, a personalised template is for the most part what you would load and is ready for you to start using. So you may want some personal preferences. I'm going to show you today how I set up my own personal preferences, and then hopefully you'll get the idea of what you need to do for the first part of the Ableton module. So I have a blank open template here. Turn this off, don't need that. And the first thing I want to do is set up some audio and MIDI tracks. So as you probably already know, I can go Command T, load another audio track. I'm going to have 4 audio tracks. I'll do it again. And for some MIDI tracks, I'll just right click here and I'll put in a MIDI track. And I'll just select that one and then go Command D, three times, 4. Then I'll select them all by selecting that one and selecting that one, holding down the Shift key and selecting it, and I'm just going to squeeze them all up a little bit smaller. Come back. Now they're all different colours and so forth, so I might look at making them all the same colour. I'll select these ones here and just right click and make them all, I don't know, that colour there. Now they're all the colour, I'll select these ones and make them a different colour. Yep, cool. So now I have my 4 audio tracks and 4 MIDI tracks. One of the other things I'll need to do is set up some return auxiliary tracks, because I'll want to send data or audio or MIDI to effects. So again, if I'm down in this area here, I will go insert return track. I can use that T command. I'll just do that, and then I'll do that again one more time. So I want at least 2 for a start. I would normally use up to 6 or 8 return tracks, just depending on what the project is that I'm doing. On this particular return track, I'm going to go over here to the browser and to the audio effects. I'm going to grab a reverb. I'm just going to drag it across and I'm going to put it onto that. An important thing to think about on the return track is this dry wet knob. If I had this down here and I'm sending information to this return track, there's not much point in having no effect in the effect return. So I always have this up 100%. Similarly, you'll see that it's named at reverb. I'm just going to click on that one, and over here I'm going to grab a ping pong delay and drop it down either there or in this slot here. And you'll see that it's come up as ping pong delay. Again, I'm going to go dry wet. I'm going to turn the feedback down because that's the amount of repeats, and I don't want a whole lot of repeats initially. I can work that out. I'm going to close this window here by going Option Command L. And so there we have our tracks and returns set up. The one thing I want to also think about here is the colour of what I'm working with, this colour of this interface. And if I go to the Preferences pane, which is Command, comma, open up the Look and Feel tab, you can see that I can zoom and display the screen at various resolutions. I can also auto-assign colours. If I have that off, then the default colour will be that, but I'll just leave it on, so it brings up different colours, different options. The clip colour is random or track colour, which would be this one here. Then I have all these themes, and I mean, I've got a lot more than you probably have at the moment. There's a whole lot of different themes, but I'm just going to leave it at that one. It's the one I like looking at. Brightness, whatever. Double clicking on any parameter in Ableton will allow us to just return to the default. I also want you to take note of in the File Folder tab at the end of this exercise, you want to save your current set as a default, and this is how you save your personalised template. I'll just carry on. I'll just click out of this and carry on. Something that I want to show you is hotkey commands, and if I click here on the key button, you'll see that things that are available for me to add key commands to are in orange, and you'll see over here in the browser also that I have some already assigned. I want to show you how to do it by removing all these. Shift click, grab them, delete them all. Now, it's a very simple process. I only have a few shortcut key commands that I use. The first one will be the metronome, and to activate the metronome at any time I want, I just click on it and push the letter M. And it tells me that is happening. I use the follow button all the time. So I'll just click on that again and go F. I use the record, obviously. I just give it the command R. And over here on the set a marker button, which is what it is, and there is a marker there, and I'll get rid of that in a second and show you something else. I just click on it and say S. So to click out of any of this stuff, I can click along, hit the metronome, turn it off, whatever. If I get to this point here and follow is off, for example, I can move along, and if I want to see what's going on, I can just hit the follow button. Okay. Now, at the beginning here, I'll just get rid of this marker. I want to show you something else that I find quite important. I mentioned that I had an S set for a set marker. So if I'm playing along like this and I want to put a marker anywhere, I can just hit S and it'll just put markers in. Okay. I like to have a marker at the very beginning of an arrangement. So I'll just click in here and I'll go S. Then I'll rename this by highlighting it and going Command R. And I'll rename it at the start. I'll also go back to my key command and click on that, and I'll give it the number 1. Let's jump out of that. Now, you'll see all my key commands here and what they do down the left hand side in the browser. This is pretty much all I ever have. I'll just go out of that. And the purpose of this here is if I click here and you'll see this little line. The program's always going to start from there, or wherever I might be, I can move this along. It's always going to start from there. If I want to go back to the beginning, I just press 1 and it takes me back to the beginning. Now obviously I could have various markers throughout the project as I'm working, and I can assign numbers so that I can quickly jump around. The purpose of a template, as I said at the beginning, is to give you a starting point in any production so that you're not having to do all the setup at a later point. Some other things you might want to consider that I would do is to put a utility on my audio tracks. If I go to this utility, it gives me all these options to monoize the signal, just mono the bass, a whole lot of other things we don't need to worry about right now, but I'm just talking about what I would do. And if I wanted that audio track to be a default audio track that loaded every time I loaded an audio track, I would just right click on audio and I would save this as a default audio track. Overwrite, yes I do. You can click on these, delete them, and then every time I create a new track, I would get a different colour but with my utility on it. The last thing you might want to think about doing, as I said, well you probably should do for this purpose of this assignment, is to go into the preferences and under the look and feel, under the file folder, save the current set as default. And I'm not going to do it because I already have a default template. And once you save it, every time you load up Ableton, it will load up your personal preferences. So, things to think about. Your colour scheme of your tracks. Why do you choose particular colours? How many MIDI audio tracks do you need? How many auxiliary returns do you want to have? Do you want to name these? I could name these right now. Just by going and say I'm going to have my kick on this track. I'll tab to the next one. This is going to be my snare. I'll tab to this one. Next one is going to be my hats. And I have a MIDI track. This could be just a bass. And then the next one's going to be keys. And so on and so forth. And it's really about making your life a bit easier when you open up your software maybe for the first time. That's about all for this video. your assignment will be an annotated screenshot or screenshots of your personalised template. So get to it and yeah, have fun.